It's actually
Yep.
amazing. There's
Yeah.
some crazy shit going on in the city too with building.
Yeah.
Have you
What's
heard
going
of
on?
this property?
You're my land developer who contact. So you tell me what's going on in the city.
I don't know. This came up. I love this deal. This is such a crazy deal. This is the CN rail deck. The rights above the CN rail deck from like Bathurst to Spadina downtown.
Okay.
So basically over and above the railroad tracks
Yep.
down at Front Street.
Yep.
Um, so this has been in dispute for like 3, 4, 5 years maybe as to
Yeah.
who owns this. Okay, so there's been a development application put in by a company under the name of Orca. So like gigantic whale because this deal is such a gigantic deal. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But so the city thinks that they own it. And this
Okay.
company, Orca, which is made up of a few different developers in the city, um, they seem to think that they bought it off of Metrolinx like 10 years ago or something like that. So
Okay.
the city and this company together are like putting in applications while sorting out who owns a thing. And so the
Yeah.
idea is to build this crazy concrete deck
Mm-hmm.
above the railroad tracks and then build all of these buildings on top of that.
Wow. That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
And
I
so
feel like the airspace thing is kind of like New York, right? Like New York sells their airspace in order to be able to get bigger, taller buildings. Like that's how
New
they
York
keep
did
prices up
something
higher.
like this.
Yeah. So this sounds very New Yorkish. Like I said, 20, 30 years behind. That's all. We're getting there. That-
So these guys like hired this crazy architect, Safdie Architects, who's like one of the world-renowned architects to work on this thing. It's a
yeah.
bunch of friggin' squares and rectangles.
Yeah.
Um, but like to help push it through, and then they're offering to make a bunch of parkland, which downtown needs desperately, as a
Hmm.
negotiation tool. Like these guys can't lose. I don't even know what they paid for this thing. Probably like nothing.
Yeah. The
3,500 units.
things like this is what the core is going to need, right? I mean, they need creativity. The United Building at University and
No, they don't
Dundas.
need anything. Listen, this is insanity, first of all. I mean, the city wants to just make it a big park, which it really actually should. And, like, let's not forget, I'm a developer. I'm so pro development, it's crazy. But we have the Portlands that is like bigger than downtown Toronto,
Hmm.
right beside downtown Toronto,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like, give these guys a gigantic plot of land over there and say, hey, build us some stuff over there. We need it. It's on the waterfront. It's like way better land. It will make for a much better Toronto than covering the railroad tracks. I mean, this is cool too, but we need parks. There's no parks anywhere.
Hmm.
Look at all these poor fucking people right now. Where they go? My parents live in a condominium and it's like a huge complex with three big buildings. They all share
Yeah.
this underground and they share this communal park in the middle and like tennis courts and everything. It's really beautiful. But
Yeah.
they closed the park. These old people, they can't walk around.
They
The
closed
kids,
the park as well.
they closed the park and nobody, except for the first floor, which actually my parents are lucky enough to live on, there's no balconies in this building. So
Yeah.
like kids are literally like poking their head against the window, like the screen, like to like feel like they're outside. Because unless you're like allowed to go somewhere, have somewhere to go, you can't even go in the park inside the complex.